Good evening. Tis I and my fly. He already has a name. His name is Charles. He's a session fly. He loves to crawl on the camera, but don't be freaked out if that happens. Hmm. So it's lovely to see you all tonight for this exploration into exploration, this journey into the journey. And the non-dual journey in us greets the non-dual journey in you. So the journey comes from the French word jour, like journal, which means day. So a day in the life of the universe, meaning a day which in a circulation has a beginning, a middle, and an end. An adventure through time and space. And why would journey be a quality unless it satisfied all of the criteria we give to qualities of true nature? One of those would be that the inner movement is answered always, reciprocated by the outer movement, and vice versa. The outer movement is always an inner movement. So, for example, to move outwards towards love, instantly we are moving inwards towards love. We so often forget that. But how could we move outwards if we weren't already also moving inwards? And to move inwards towards love always must involve an outer flow towards love, a movement of consciousness towards love. And with the quality of the journey, it's so very clear that the inner journey is always an outer journey, and the outer journey is always an inner journey. And the fulfillment or the depth or the yumminess of the whole experience depends on the depth in which we go inside. As a formula, just as much as we go inside into the inner journey, the outer journey with the same quality will open up before us. And just as much as we open up to the outer journey, the inner journey will be opening up within us to the point that inner and outer journey are one. These magical moments when we stand there in the clearing of a forest and the light is pouring through the patterns of the leaves and everything gets a little bit psychedelic and there's a rabbit, maybe 1,000 pairs of eyes watching us. And in a way we arrive. The inner becomes the outer and the outer becomes the inner. You wouldn't say this is inside or that is outside. We have moments of pure experience, meaning a dimension shift. True nature comes to life, life comes to true nature. The body becomes clear, revealed as true nature becomes clear as inseparable from the physical experience. Nirvana becomes samsara, samsara becomes nirvana. Moments. And why are they moments? Is it because the universe is a meanie? There's only moments where inner and outer are one, when the quality on the inside meets the quality on the outside. The reason it's in moments is because it's happening through this incredible, merciful vehicle called time. And the only way we can really experience time or allow time to give us its magic is to arrive in the now, in the moment. In the moment that the sun breaks through from above onto the road that we're on, and the earth leaps up, the light in the earth radiates up to meet it, this moment. And it's almost as if time stands still. And then that moment departs. We let it. And anyway, I mean, we could say, okay, that was one hell of a moment back then. Did you see that moment we just had? We had, whoa, 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 what a moment, and grasp hold of it. Or we could allow the moment to depart, and in the departing of the moment, the next moment can arrive. Maybe 10 steps later, 15 steps later, maybe 1,000 steps later. The question is, are we arriving to meet the moment? Or are we still clinging to the moment that was there before? Been there, done that. Had my moment, my bacon moment. How much are we able to open up to it? So a journey is so much more than it would seem, but we can keep it as this adventure through time and space. And so often when we think of a journey, if we were to talk about the journey of being alive, the journey of being physically suddenly finding ourselves alive here, with a form, with a body, with a gender, with a sense of the resonance of what it feels to be alive, with an age which is changing, in the dimension of time and space which is moving around us, or are we moving around it? So even if we were to take it as a lifetime, this journey through time and space involves the arrival through a certain dimension, movement through a dimension, in time, meaning being born, the middle bit, and leaving. Arriving, opening up to those moments, the moment of our lifetime maybe, and departing. And this is true whether it's the big picture of a lifetime or the micro picture of one step and then another step, arriving and departing, arriving and departing. The left foot moves forward, it arrives on the ground, and then it departs from the ground to take another step, and it arrives again to the ground, and then it says, bye-bye ground, lifts up to take another step. But all this movement of arriving and departing depends on something from which we arrive and to which we depart. From something from which we depart and something to which we arrive. If you were to say, okay, it's summertime, I'm taking a journey, we would assume that you're leaving home. You go to the airport and you check in and you follow the signs to departures. You say goodbye to the known, to the familiar. You lock up your home and you turn your back on it. Maybe with some excitement, maybe with some regret. And if that was the journey of a lifetime, then that would mean that to be born is to depart. That this journey begins with departure. That we're leaving something which deep down feels beyond familiar. It's home. It's our center. It's our sanctuary, our safety, our seamless belonging. We're leaving all of that. We're going through the front door. We're locking it up behind us and we're going on our way. We are departing. And this is kind of encoded in our language, but so often we don't think about it like that. that we're departing the true home in order to be born, that the experience of our life begins with us saying goodbye. We come from a place into an adventure. And how do we know it's an adventure, that it's a journey and not just the other way around? Partly because we come from a place of stillness and safety and peace. And we open up to a new experience, voluntarily or not. Some babies come crying and screaming with rage. Some come with a kind of old eyes, like, oh, here we go again. Some come with a total trust in the care they'll receive, and others come with something to prove. So to us, they're arriving, but to them, they're departing. And in this departure, there is an opening up to the new. So as I depart, I move towards you, and to you I arrive. Bart departs from England, and everyone says in Holland, Bart's arriving. One departure is another arrival. But what happens with a lifetime is so quickly we forget home. We forget home and we begin to look at it in the outer journey. This one feels like where I came from. Oh, there's a Dutch person. Maybe here they'll understand me. I can speak my own language. Here's the atmosphere of home. And then it unlocks other kinds of qualities. It's like there's a recognition in the outer journey of the place we've come from. And we fall in love. Or the whole system relaxes. Or something awakens of the inner home. It awakens to meet it, like a dog that, like our dog when we come back and she starts running round and round in circles. This excitement of the soul. To meet something from back there, out here. And maybe partly what we're meeting on this journey is our memories of that we took back there from previous journeys. And now we're going to meet it again. And there's a recognition. And that's also a little party. A recognition of what the beloved looks like in physical form, but nevertheless, it's not just the beloved in the place of home, which is kind of, yeah, but out here in the wilderness, here they are. It's a particular kind of magic, a particular kind of grittiness, which is there in the physical expression and in the reunion, a particular kind of ecstasy or yumminess to meet ourselves or each other through the physical, to meet other travelers, to walk with them for a while, maybe to follow them home, or sometimes to have them to remind them of the way home. So this duality of departing and arriving breaks down very early on into the moments. The departure of the moment that was and the arrival in the moment that is. It's got a rhythm. It's got a rhythm that the more we allow the journey, the more the rhythm accelerates. So maybe at the beginning of the walk, it's now, 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 now with our footsteps. Maybe at a certain moment it becomes now, 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 and because something's breaking open, and it could be such a fast rhythm that it feels like everything stands still and just shines. We disappear. We disappear in the journey. And then what can happen. And this is so recognizable in all the formulas of experience which are happening here in this school of life, in this adventure of life. As we disappear in the journey, there's no more our person, our self, our thoughts, our ideas, our identity. There is just this. And then we take the next step. It can almost be as if the journey is moving through us. Time and space is moving through us. The scenery is moving through us. The birds and the trees, the earth, the wind, the sensations, the taste, the smells, the colors are all moving through us, rather than us moving through them as a little thing. And those, again, are very, very interesting moments when it flips around. Because in those moments where everything is revealed as moving through us, and we can be perfectly still and boundless, even if we're walking, even that's moving through us, fear falls away. Confusion falls away. Agenda falls away. It falls away because we might be on our path, going through the trees, and we come into some pretty unpleasant corner of the forest, which is a bit rank. And out of the rotting undergrowth comes the devil himself. You know, here is the awful thing, the worst core fear, the embodiment of all that we might not want to meet on our journey. When it's moved around like this, that it moves through us rather than us moving through it, we are already alive through another dimension, and it's possible for the devil himself to just pass through us and on. He's just an experience. The suffering aspects move through us, but we remain. They're a happening. We are not the happening. They are the movement. We are the stillness, which is able to experience just about anything. And these moments, when in the reversed position where the world is moving through us, rather than us as a small, fragile form moving through the world, in these moments, fear falls away. It doesn't fall away in the sense of there is no more fear. It falls away in the sense that fear becomes an experience that also moves through us. The journey is happening through us. Fear comes, it has a beginning, it has a middle, it has an end. There's no need to resist. There's no belief that we are a separate form in a vast wilderness. Rather, we are the space through which the wilderness can appear and disappear. Arriving and departing becomes part of the journey rather than endpoints. So we're no longer enslaved in time. Rather, time is of service to us. Arrival is an experience, departing is an experience. Now, psychologically seen, this is quite huge. Because in our fear of letting go, our fear of departing, and in our agenda to keep the good stuff and to not experience the bad stuff, in our grasping and our aversion, in no time having grieved or repressed the grief process of being born at all, of departing from our true home, the place from which we came, the origin of all that we are on this journey, in no time we begin to fear departing this journey. And we call that final departure, the final destination. You have reached your destination, get off the bus. That awful, dreadful moment, we call that death. So now we're departing and departing, but we didn't yet arrive. And our focus becomes on avoiding this departure, which will come when we have to leave this show already. So what happened to the journey? We departed from home. We hardly arrived in the full experience of the moments of being here in freedom, in the playful adventure of experience, walking through the wonder of being alive. We hardly arrived in that, and already we're becoming encoded in this dread and fear of leaving it already. So the space, the depth of departing and arriving, and the depth of opening up to arriving and departing up outside, the space gets very wide between inside and outside. There's a big separation that opens up. And we begin to live in fear. Fear of departure. And in this fear of departure, we begin to get lost because we're fearing the arrival home. We're fearing the free circulation from the place from which we came. It's like we left home on a journey, yay, and we went through the departures lounge and we're on the plane and everything, and then we have a total dread of arriving home again. Because that will be departing the journey. And we haven't lived it enough yet, but we don't want to live it enough yet, because in order to live it, we have to allow it to depart moment by moment by moment. So a lot of the fear of death shows up in this contraction around departure. And this can come forward as it being hard to say goodbye. Incredible pain in saying goodbye. Freeze, maybe, in saying goodbye. A feeling of lack, or lack almost from another kind of time, like bottomless lack, craving, despair, just around saying goodbye. As if saying goodbye was some kind of annihilation, or as if it demands a closing down on life. And at the other side, we can, because of the fear of saying goodbye can be so strong, the fear of letting go, the fearing of releasing one step for the next step, one breath for the next breath, one moment for the next moment. Because this fear of letting go can be so strong, we also might find it hard, and we might find we lack in space to open up to arriving. Because we arrive now, but we have to leave tomorrow. We're only here for a day. We're only here for 10 years. We're only here for 40 years. We're only here for 80 years. What's the point in really opening up to it when anyway we're leaving? And that awful moment will come when we have to say goodbye. And that hurts so very, very, very much. So should we really open up to let the world in? And then the fear gets fuel, because what we begin to fear along the journey, what begins to make us experience lostness, to feel lost, to feel confused, to feel dark, numb. What we're fearing is that basic, what appears as a pain or grief of release. And so that can show up then as a fear of new people, a fear of arrival, a fear of new things, a fear of new adventures. Let's just stay still. Let's find ourselves a box that looks like home and sit in it and not change a thing. Get very rigid. Slow down the pace. Maybe we can believe that we find forever in a form. That our consciousness can fixate, can be held, can be protected. That safety, that home can be in the bricks and mortar of breeze blocks in one location, in a place where, as if time stands still, time is frozen, nothing is really allowed to change. And we begin to stagnate there. And then, at a certain moment, we come into trouble. We come into trouble in the world. We feel trapped. We feel stuck. We feel lost. We feel all of that. And nothing actually makes sense with anything else. How can we be lost and also stuck? How can we be uh, uh, in this vast expanse of endless despair and yet confined? How can we feel so extremely alone and yet there's people everywhere wanting us to open up to take a journey with them? At a certain moment, somebody comes knocking at our door, or life comes knocking at our door and invites us on a journey within the journey. And maybe the journey now, because we've been suffering so very, very deeply, shows up as a kind of sacred journey. There's a memory of a memory of a memory that this journey, maybe all journeys, are some kind of pilgrimage, that there's something sacred in them, that they matter, that the inner journey is the outer journey, and that there's magic in it, that there's revelation in it. And so we move into a journey within the journey, and it's like a dream within a dream, and the journey within a journey, with its entry point and its exit point and its safety of a beginning and a middle and an end, begins to remind us about home and begins to show us where we lost our freedom, our sense of freedom, where we forgot that we are loved. It shows us those places where we forgot our innocence, where we became confused in our natural clarity, our natural clarity of consciousness, where we made fearful objects of our own experience, our own instincts, our emotions, where we split from the journey and where we decided we want to know what the journey is going to bring us before we agree to take even one step, as if that makes any sense at all. So happily, there are these spirals within spirals, and all of them inevitably, with an incredible gravitational pull, are showing us that even though we are opening up on this journey of life, we never can leave home. Home is always here. It's an unfolding, it's an arriving and a departing and a arriving and a departing in this pure adventure. That it's not just one dimension here, that it's not just a pathway, it's also a sky, it's also earth, it's also the changing of the weather, it's also the amazing companionship of others walking the way. That we're on a mission with a sense of purpose without, which is its own fulfillment in every single step, and learning that even when the step is blissful and amazing and fulfilling and incredible and it feels ultimate, that we must release it and offer it up in order to take the next step. Learning to move from that still center, which is in a way no center because it's everywhere, but ultimately just to relax in the wonder of it all. Okay, that was a spiral. I leave it like that. We take a 5-minute break and then we will meditate a little bit on this quality of the journey.
So welcome back, everybody. It's so nice to see you all. So let's go on a journey. So I'd like you to find a relaxed position. And when you found a relaxed position, just close your eyes and move with your conscious awareness inward, inside your body. And maybe it's possible to connect with the space inside your body. And connecting with the space inside your body, maybe it's also possible to connect with the space outside your body, around your body. And maybe it's even possible to connect with the space inside your body and the space around your body. And let's try to relax, to dissolve a bit into this space. And then I like you to connect with the here and now. Your location, the situation you feel in right now. The thoughts you're having right now. The feelings you're having right now. the emotions, you're having right now. Physical sensations you're having right now. So soon we will depart on our journey. So it's time to say goodbye. Goodbye to your surroundings. Goodbye to the situation you find yourself in right now. Goodbye to your thoughts. Your feelings. And emotions. Goodbye to your physical sensations. And then I'd like you to imagine that you're somewhere in a field in nature. And the grass is green. And you can smell the grass. And you can feel the softness of the grass underneath your feet. And the firmness of the earth underneath it. It's a sunny day. And when you look up, you see that most of the sky is blue. A beautiful deep blue color. And here and there are some white clouds. And when you look around, you see that you're on a hill. And around the field are some trees. You can hear the birds singing in the trees. You start to walk. You walk slowly over the grass. Towards the end of the field. Where you see a gate. And the gate is surrounded by hedges. And when you reach the gate, you move through the gate. And you find yourself on a little road between hedges, between the fields. You go to the left, down the road. The road is moving slightly downwards. And you smell the different fragrances of the nature around you. And walking down over the pathway, the little road between the hedges, you hear the sound of water. The sound of a little river. And the road is leading towards the river. And the closer you move towards the river, you become aware of some old trees. Some very old trees standing at the edge of the river. And when you stand at the edge of the river, in between the trees, you look into the water. It's clear water. And it's moving quite fast. You can see the bottom of the river. And even some fishes in the clear water. And you hear the friendly sound of the water of the river. And you smell the freshness of the water. And you can feel the sunlight on your skin and your face. And when you look to your left, following the river with your eyes, you see a little boat tied up to one of the trees. And you start to walk towards the boat. And carefully you step into the boat. It's a little wiggly wobbly in the water, but you find your balance. And you find a place to sit. And then you start to untie the boat, to loosen the rope, which is quite easy. And the boat starts to move with the river, with the water of the river. And you're taking by the river between trees and fields. And then at once, when you look to the left, You see a situation of your childhood reflected in the water. It's moving with you in the water, the situation of your childhood. Then you look at it. And you experience the situation. And then the river starts to move a little bit faster. Leaving the situation of your childhood behind. And then the river is curving to the right. And the water becomes calm. And the boat is moving a bit slower. And again, you see a reflection in the clear water at your left side. And in this reflection, you see another situation of your childhood. Another memory. Clear. You are aware of your feelings and how you experience this situation. You are aware of the impact on your physical body. And then slowly, slowly, the boat is moving a little bit faster. And the situation is staying more and more behind. And you're looking forward again over the river. And you see that the trees are slowly disappearing. And at the sides of the river there is open fields. And then looking at the right side in the water, You see another situation of your life, another memory. When you were in your 20s. It's reflecting in the water. And you can clearly feel how you felt in this situation. And at the same time, you can smell the freshness of the water. And feel the sunlight on your skin. And your face. And the movement of the boat through the water. And now, looking in the water, moving a little bit faster and leaving the memory behind. A whole flow of situations you're passing through the water, looking into the water reflected there. A whole flow of memories you're passing through, one memory after another. And you're passing through them. And you feel the movement of the boat, which is starting to move a little bit faster again. You can feel the sunlight on your skin. You can smell the freshness of the water. And you can feel a soft, cool wind. And when you're looking in front of yourself where the boat is moving and the river is going, you see that the river is getting broader and broader. And you become aware of some salty smell. The river makes a left turn. The fields are changing into dunes. And moving through the dunes, you start to hear the waves of the sea. And then at once you see the ocean in front of you. A beautiful, deep blue ocean with gentle waves. And when the boat is moving on the ocean and you feel the movement of the waves rocking your body in a very gentle way, a deep sensation is coming forward. Connected with the endless space around you of the ocean. A deep feeling of coming home. Okay. Well, we slowly are coming back in the here and now. We are going to say goodbye to the people on the live stream. And thank you for being with us and thank you for sharing this time with us. And we hope to feel you, to experience you again next week. And we take at the same time a 5-minute break. And after 5 minutes, there is some space for questions and sharing, and of course, the peace meditation. Bye.